Thanks to dogged police work, forensic technology, and genealogy testing, we are seeing more and more families receive justice for their loved ones every year. And although we're early into 2025, we are already beginning to see several breakthroughs in cases that have been lying dormant for decades. Join us for today's episode as we examine 3 cases that were finally solved in 2025. Yekaterina Belaya. 49-year-old Yekaterina Belaya was last seen on the evening of September 28, 2014, near her home on Rock Springs Drive in Melbourne, Florida. According to her daughter, Yekaterina was going to the store for an errand and she would only be half an hour. However, she never returned and was never seen again. For years, Yekaterina and her white 2003 Honda Odyssey remained missing, but just over a decade after she was last seen, a breakthrough finally came. Since 2022, Sunshine State Sonar has helped Florida authorities locate missing people and vehicles in waterways. The program consists of volunteers who help sift through missing person databases in search of suitable cases, as well as divers. On December 20th, 2024, Yekaterina's vehicle was located beneath 23 feet of water in a retention pond on the corner of Mural Road and Vieira Boulevard. The car's license plate was a perfect match. According to Sunshine State Sonar, the group had secured mobile phone data by working with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. This allowed them to pinpoint the area where Yekaterina's phone last pinged and begin conducting searches. As Florida is full of bodies of water, they reportedly searched dozens of them in the nearby area before finally finding the right pond. During their search of the water where Yekaterina and her vehicle were found, they also discovered 2 other cars, one of which had reportedly been stolen. Michael Sullivan, who leads Sunshine State Sonar, said, "We searched 33 bodies of water, and she was in the 33rd. I was a little surprised we were actually able to get to her that quick, just because there's probably 500 bodies of water in that area." Michael added, "We located Katja's van on the first day, but we couldn't dive on it. We had 2 alligators that were hanging around and wouldn't leave, so we decided to come back in the daytime so we could get in there safely. As soon as we got down there, the first thing we saw was the Honda logo, and then we noticed the white paint. We looked at the license plate number, and we knew." The pond from which Yekaterina's car was pulled was just 2 miles from her home. In early January 2025, investigators confirmed that the dental records of the remains inside the vehicle were a match to the missing mother. The area had been searched by authorities back in 2014, but the bodies of water had not been thoroughly examined. Furthermore, mobile phone data was much more limited back then than it is today, leaving the case to grow cold. Sasha Belaya, one of Yekaterina's daughters, noted that it wouldn't be like her mother to just simply leave, stating that her children came above anything else in her life. On the 10th anniversary of their mother's disappearance, shortly before she was found, her daughters posted online about how Yekaterina had emigrated from Russia following the collapse of the Soviet Union. A highly educated woman, she had degrees in geology and environmental science and came to the US in search of a better life. Reportedly, there was some speculation that Yekaterina had left of her own accord because at the time of her disappearance, she had been struggling with mental illness and had previously spent years embroiled in a bitter divorce with the father of her children. At the time of recording, investigators are still determining the exact circumstances of her death, but for now, her family are grateful to be able to bring her home. Sheila Fox. Sheila Fox was born on February 26, 1956, and lived in a working-class, tight-knit community in Coventry, England. Her parents were originally from County Wexford, Ireland, and moved to England at the end of the Second World War, with her father, a bricklayer, picking up work helping to rebuild the city. By all accounts, Sheila had a normal upbringing. She had 3 Irish-born older siblings and seemed to do well in school. But on her 16th birthday, everything changed. She reportedly always planned to leave school at 16, which was common back then, but nobody expected her to also leave Coventry. One day, in March of 1972, she simply left home and never came back. Though the reason that Sheila left is unclear, her family, over the years, concluded that she'd run off with an older man whom her parents disapproved of. Her cousin told the press that the story which circulated within the family circle was that she'd run off with the insurance man. Though she was reported missing by her family, there was very little evidence in the 16-year-old's case. Her loved ones had few photos of her. One lone, grainy image was used to help garner leads. For 52 years, Sheila remained a missing person, but on January 1st of this year, West Midlands Police announced that at long last they had found her. They confirmed that the 68-year-old was safe and well, and had in fact been living 80 miles from her family. It turned out that 16 months after she went missing, Sheila had given birth to her only child, a son named Robert. The father's name on the birth certificate was listed as John Foster, a barman from London, and at the time of Robert's birth, Sheila was also using the name Foster, indicating that the pair were married. According to her cousin, Kevin Fox, Sheila attempted to get in touch with the family in the 1980s, but they had actually moved overseas to Canada to start afresh. Reportedly, word that Sheila was looking for the family did reach them, and they stopped considering her a missing person, but failed to inform West Midlands Police, who kept her on their missing persons register. By the early 80s, John Foster was no longer in the picture, and Sheila had married a father of 2 named Jack Thorpe, also from London. By the time Sheila was tracked down, she was still married to Jack. The couple are living in Watford, and Robert, Sheila's child, is also in the area. When approached for comment by the Daily Mail, Sheila stated, "It all happened a long time ago. I've moved on. It's all in the past. It's been a misunderstanding, and I don't want to say any more." She reportedly made a post echoing similar sentiments, writing, "Life doesn't allow for us to go back and fix what we have done wrong in the past, but it does allow for us to live each day better than our last." Sheila came to the attention of police in late 2024, following a new appeal for information. Within just hours of the publication of the appeal, numerous members of the public reached out with information. After 52 years, her case is finally closed. Marquita Mull. On September 26, 2021, a hiker following a Rails to Trails path in Chautauqua County, New York, discovered part of a human skull. When authorities arrived on the scene, they found further remains, those of not just 1, but 2 people. The following month, investigators revealed that one of the 2 individuals had been identified as 50-year-old Marquita Mull, who was last seen on June 25th in Buffalo, New York. She was reported missing on July 18th. Authorities added that foul play was involved in both cases, though they were unsure if the 2 were linked. The first body had been dumped several decades earlier, but had been properly buried in a shallow grave, whereas Marquita's body had been left in the open. As of January 2025, the other body has been identified, but authorities have not made the victim's name public. Marquita's family stated that they couldn't fathom how she'd wound up so far from home. She was a vulnerable individual, struggling with both mental illness and physical disabilities that she'd been left with after she was hit by a car in 2012. The 50-year-old reportedly had no car, no mobile phone, and didn't know anyone in the small, rural community of Portland where her remains were found. Her sister, Wendy Mull, told the media, "Somebody took my sister and threw my sister away, like she was garbage." She described her sister as the sweetest person. Though Marquita could go months without speaking to her siblings, she reportedly called her father every day. Willie Mull stated, "She would always call me. She'd say, 'I love you, I'm taking my medicine.' But the last day anyone heard from Marquita was on Father's Day, June 20th. When her siblings realized she hadn't been in touch, they, along with her father, grew concerned. It only got worse when a social worker called and told them that Marquita hadn't picked up her disability check in 3 weeks. In the following weeks, an investigation was opened into Marquita's disappearance, but the police didn't get very far. There were few leads, no witnesses, and nothing for them to sink their teeth into. Finally, on January 9th, 2025, news came. A man had been arrested in connection with Marquita's murder. 61-year-old Richard J. Fox was in court just days earlier for felony second-degree murder. Notably, Fox is no stranger to crime and has a lengthy criminal history. In 1993, he was convicted of the third-degree rape of a 14-year-old girl, for which he was given 18 months to 3 years in prison. In 2005, he was charged and convicted of first-degree attempted rape and first-degree aggravated sex abuse of a 42-year-old woman in Buffalo. He was given 15 years behind bars and was subsequently considered a level 3 sex offender, meaning he was very likely to re-offend and a threat to public safety. Following Fox's arraignment, Marquita's sister, Wendy, stated, "It's bittersweet. She's not here, but he's like, when he was being arraigned, I sat right behind him. You can't get any closer. I don't even hate the man. I'm not his judge. God is his judge. We can't judge anybody. God can." As well as being charged with murder, Fox is also being charged with 1 count of sex offender failure to report a change of address, 1 count of sex offender failure to verify address every 90 days, 1 count of sex offender failure to provide a photo, and 1 count of sex offender failure to mail a verification form. If convicted on all counts, he could face 25 years in prison. And there you have the facts. Please leave a comment below with your own thoughts and reactions, and remember to like this video and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching. Stay alert, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.